Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wheel of Horror, the podcast where two best friends spin a wheel once a week. It chooses the horror film and they discuss it. Today, we are talking 2015's Hell House LLC, which was directed by Stephen Cognetti. I'm your co host, Alec.
And Eric.
And here we are, the first of the Hell House series. And Eric, what'd you think? First time ever.
I'll just give you never heard of it, never saw it, loved it. Loved it.
Wow. All
Loved it.
right. All right.
Major kudos to everyone involved in this film. Yeah.
I had a feeling you would like this one.
I,
It's
I love found footage. I
yeah, I know.
love it.
I do too. It's like
Then
my yeah.
this mixed like documentary and stuff into it as well. Perfect. Wow. Good mix, good chemistry, fast paced. It was great. It's great.
Yeah, it's a short movie, hour and a half. It's an independent film made by this guy Stephen Cognetti. He wrote and directed it. He's written and directed all of them. So there's five of them right now. And dude, I gotta say, it's one of those series where every movie builds upon the last one. So like the second one is like directly impacted by all the stuff that happens in this movie, the third one. So and like once you watch the whole series and you go back to this one, you're like, oh, like little thing. It's like the Saw series almost. Like they just keep like they're like, this is why this happened in the first one, so that this could happen. So it's because it's one dude. One dude wrote and directed every one. So it's cool. It is cool. But yeah,
So may I ask, have you seen all of them?
I
Or
have. Yeah.
really?
I've seen this one probably like 10 times. And
What?
then yeah, because dude, like my girlfriend likes this one. I like this one. Her and I have seen this one like multiple times together since we started dating. So yeah, no, I like the series, dude. I think it's like for what it is, especially the first one. They do get progressively a little worse, but this one I feel like is like hardcore. But yeah, I've seen all of them. I've seen this one a bunch. So I'm pretty well versed in it.
Word, word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was my take. I love found footage. I mean the ones that come to mind: Paranormal Activity, Exorcism of Emily Rose,
No, 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 no.
Blair Witch.
Last Exorcism.
Oh, that one. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Last Exorcism. And then Blair Witch. Yeah, man, this was a good one. Creep is another kind of found footage one.
Wreck
Yeah,
and
and what's the one we watched with the it was like a Spanish.
that's Wreck.
Wreck, yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
dude, that one was phenomenal too.
yeah,
Found footage, amazing, amazing,
yeah,
because it keeps the cost of the budget down because it's got to be the cameras and stuff that you or I would shoot with, on our
yeah.
phones. So it's cool.
Well, I watched a behind the scenes an interview with the director, and he was saying that when he wrote it, it wasn't supposed to be found footage. And then he was like, "Well, how can we make this really cheap, sort of thing?" And that's why they did a found footage. And
Huh.
they were able to film this in like 2 weeks. So they filmed the
God
whole
damn.
thing in 2 weeks. I mean, there's no recognizable actors in it. I think like the chemistry of the main like like five like teenagers or like 20-year-olds or whatever, I think their chemistry was fantastic. Like they
Yeah.
seem like friends. Stephen Cognetti, I'll tell you a funny story a little later, but Stephen Cognetti was saying that they were like all partying, hanging out at night together. Like they all became really good friends throughout the
That's
2 weeks of
awesome.
filming.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But the only acting that I like, it's fine, but I like literally laugh every time is the mockumentaries of the two guys in the beginning. There's like the one guy with like the crazy mustache, and he's just like, "You need to find out the Abaddon Hotel. You should look on YouTube and you'll find some mystery." Like he was just
Yeah.
so dramatic. And then the other guy's like, he looks like he's about to break. It's like Jimmy Fallon the whole time. He's just like,
Well,
"Yeah."
who was that? Who was that guy? Who was he like an FBI director of some kind or
No, he's
something?
just a journalist. He was
Yeah, but
just a
he
journalist.
was the guy who said, "I won't go down those stairs.
Yeah.
I've seen some shit in my life. I'm not going down the stairs." Right?
Yeah, so he's a journalist. So the movie takes place 5 years after all the found
Yes.
footage.
Yes.
So it takes place in 2014, the movie, but the
No, I
actual
thought 2009 was
that's when
the Hell House.
yeah, the incident takes place in 2009, but this movie, like all the mockumentary stuff and the stuff with Sarah, that girl who's getting interviewed, that's all in 2014. That's
Hmm.
5 years later. So yeah, so basically like the whole idea of this movie, which I think is such a great idea, is like those walk through haunted houses that always pop up in like September, October, or whatever. Like I went to the Universal one. They're all really
Oh, we
fun.
we we we've been to
Yeah.
tons together too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these ones are, it's a company started by a group of friends, and they're like, hey, we find different places, we rent them out for the holiday, for Halloween, and we do a walk through haunted house. And they've been doing it for a few years, and they love it. But the idea of the movie is, what if something went wrong during one of those walkthroughs? And that's like a brilliant idea for a movie because
We used
as
to joke. We used to joke on haunted graveyard at lake compounds.
yeah,
And you correct me if I'm wrong. We used to say like, wouldn't this be like the perfect place for a serial killer to just do it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
no one would call the cops?
And that's what this movie is. Because I mean, like, dude, like if you see somebody like a girl tied up and she's like, "Help me, help me, help me! This isn't part of the show. Like, help me!" You're like, "I bet this is part of the
Like,
show."
ha 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 ha,
Yeah,
click,
yeah.
click.
And that's what this movie is like horrible things are happening, and it's a horror movie walkthrough. So you're like, I'm expecting blood.
Honestly, though, it does feel like the haunted house ends like within 20 minutes. Really. Like this was not something that lasted a long time.
No, it's their opening night. They have this
Yeah.
whole
It
incident,
felt
and
like the first like 30 people that went in are the 30 people that, you know what I mean? I believe 15 people were killed, including the people that did Hell House, like the
yeah.
staff.
So there's only one person from the staff that survives. Everybody else dies. Well, survives, yeah. Sarah. She's the only girl. So yeah, so the characters are Alex and Mac. They're the two best friends who started the company
Yes.
together. They're childhood best friends. They started this company. Then they hired Paul and Tony, and those are the camera guys and like the guy who does all of the camera, like setting up the cameras and
Yeah.
logistics. And then there's Sarah, Alex's girlfriend, and that's the five leads who are all there. I can't
Mm.
remember. I think it's called Hell House LLC. That's like the company name.
LLC. It's a company. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're like, and then we learned that they've been doing this for a few years. They did it in Queens, New York last year, and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
There's like a big
Because
problem.
there's like some guy like, hey, get out of here, kids. Like very Brooklyn accent.
I
And
love that. Yeah, when he
like
does the
so,
impression, he's like,
yeah,
"Welcome to
that was like,
Lucifer's Cavern." Like,
hey, you guys want a coffee or something? Like
yeah, get a slice of pizza, get
that
in
was
there.
probably the funniest part of the movie, honestly.
The movie's got
Comedy was.
it's got some funny moments, but yeah. So they had an event in Queens the previous year. They lost a lot of money. Nothing bad. It wasn't like anybody died,
It
but
sounds like that guy caused a lot of bad reviews though. Like
yeah.
that guy ruined the haunted house, whoever this like Brooklyn. I'm imagining the like the short fat guy from Hey Arnold being like, "Hey, I'm in a haunted house."
I just imagine it's like a firefighter from Queens. Yeah, it was just like
Yeah,
get a slice of
something.
pizza, get some
Hey, hey,
coffee,
hey,
go
what are
get
you kids
scared.
doing in here? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of my haunted house.
Yeah, it's like
Like, and just,
we're supposed to be here. We paid for this. But anyway, so they're like, okay, we'll get out of New York City. We're going to go upstate and we're going to a town called Abaddon and we're going to rent this abandoned hotel and that'll be how we do it. And they're excited because they're like, hey, it's only 40 minutes outside the city. It's way creepier than Queens. Like it's a real abandoned hotel. This hotel used to be a thing. It got destroyed. It's locked up and it's scary. So they're like, perfect. We don't even have to do that much to this place. It's already scary. So they're all enthusiastic and excited. They get to this hotel and yeah,
no
I mean
electricity.
there's nothing.
There's
There's no
shit everywhere. And
yeah.
they're looking at it as like we could use this as a prop, this as a prop. Um, but yeah, it's like it's gonna take work. And I'm also looking at the flashlights they're using. It's just dust. It's like they
Yeah.
should be wearing masks,
Oh yeah.
totally walking through
I
there.
know. In the beginning there too, they're like, we should sleep here tonight. And I was like, you're gonna get lung cancer if you stay
Hell
here.
no.
Yeah, no. So
Hell no.
they do get like a hotel, I think, but they don't sleep there in the beginning.
They don't sleep until it gets electricity, from
Yeah.
what they said, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the first night though, they get together, they get drunk and they're having fun or whatever. And apparently they were really drunk in that scene. Like the scene where they're talking
It
about
felt like that, yeah.
yeah. So they're all a little drunk, a little annoying, but they're having fun. And then I'm trying to think like what the first scary thing that happens is. I mean, they find these clowns that are there that were left over. They're like clown mannequins, but like they're pretty legit because they can stand, they can sit, they can like do whatever.
I don't think they could stand up. I think they had to sit them, and then they made it very clear that they're not moving. They're not gonna. Their heads don't move. They wanted to move the heads. They're like they don't move. So they made that
Yes.
like very apparent. Like these are just stationary sitting down clowns, and they sit them down in the basement against the wall.
Yeah, but that should raise so many red flags because, like, first of all, when they go into the basement, there are pentagrams on the wall,
Bibles
Bibles all over the floor.
everywhere.
There's
Yes.
these creepy ass clowns that are down there. And because you're thinking to yourself, like, well, this is an abandoned hotel. Why do they have these clown things here? And then also, why are these pentagrams on the wall? Why is all this stuff there? But they're just like, this is scary. And they just like,
Well, the one thing they don't do is the research on what happened there before, which we find
mm,
out
oh,
later
yeah.
on, but like we could spoil that now. What happened?
So there's a guy named Andrew Tully, and he was like had like a cult at the hotel, and they
Yes.
were doing human sacrifices there and stuff like that. You learn a lot more about that in the second one. It's called Hotel Abaddon, and the third one's called Lake of Fire. And the first three are like I mean, they're all connected, but the first three are like really heavily connected. And then four
Hmm.
and five goes in a different direction, but honestly, it's still pretty heavily connected. You learn all about the clowns. Like it gives a lot of insight into everything. And especially Alex's character. When you rewatch this one after you see the next couple, you're gonna be like, wow, like
Was Alex the head
I'm
of?
not saying nothing. But once
No, no,
you
but like in this movie, was he like the
oh
guy who
yeah.
ran it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He's like the lead male character. But yeah, when you rewatch this movie after that, like every line he says, you're like, oh shit. Like the whole movie changes after.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, so Andrew Tully was a leader of this cult in Abaddon. Abaddon is apparently like a demon too, like in the Bible. Like it's a or a place or something like that in the Bible.
Abaddon is a demon.
I
Yeah.
think so, yeah. So this is, a hotel demon basically. But yeah, there's this guy Andrew Tully. He has a cult there, and that's why the hotel got shut down because a bunch of people got killed in 1989 in the hotel. So it's been shut down for 20-ish or yeah, 20
And
years.
Tully unalived himself, right? And
Yeah, he
and
hung himself in the attic,
yeah.
and yeah. So that's like all this creepy lore about the house, and
But these people coming in here, getting the house, setting up a haunted house, don't really know that
no,
part of it.
well,
Which is like you wouldn't you ask like what happened to this hotel before you go into it? You know, at least I would. I'd be like, so why did
yeah,
it shut down? It's like, oh, ran out of funds. It's like, that's one thing, but this
yeah.
is like way deeper than that. And I don't know I don't know personally if I'd feel comfortable. Like, I don't want to make a haunted house out of something that you know people actually truly children died in. That's sick, honestly.
Well, you're also 35. Like, imagine you were like 22 and you're like
Oh yeah,
hanging out with your
22 Eric, oh,
friends.
100%.
Yeah, like you're getting
100.
drunk with your friends, like you're getting paid. You're just like, hey, we're out here. This is sick. Like,
That's another thing we'll get into too. Is like the pay of this group. Like how good could the money
it
have
must
been?
not be very good, but yeah, we don't know exactly. But they're like in their early to mid 20s and they're all friends and girlfriends and they're just like hanging out. Like, I bet you would overlook some things.
Sure.
But yeah, so then we find out throughout the entire movie there's these mockumentary interviews that are happening, like talking head interviews with journalists and just like people that are interested in the case, and they're all kind of like filling us in along the way about just like, yeah, this hotel was like a cult used to be there. It was
Mhm.
foreclosed. Alex and his team were the first people to go in 20 years, and then this shit happened again. So everybody's like, I'm not going there ever again.
But then they also are interviewing the one survivor of the person involved with Hell House LLC, like the
Yeah.
business,
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
So they have her, they bring her in, and here's what kind of like maybe be like, what the hell? She comes in, she answers some questions, and then she brings a bag of it looked like tapes or hard drives and puts it on the table, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, what's this? And it's like, this is everything. And they're like, what do you mean? And she's like, no, this is all the footage we shot as we're building the haunted house, which I imagine they would use to eventually promote the haunted house afterwards for the next year and stuff like that. But she puts it on the table. I mean, that is tampering with evidence. Like, how do you withholding evidence? Like, how do you hold on to that for 5 years now, right?
Well, I don't think the police knew Sarah survived. I don't think anybody did because when she comes into the room or whatever, she's acting really weird. Maybe I missed that, but
No,
I
no, no, no,
think
no. She comes into the interview saying she's the only survivor of the Hell House group.
right. I know. I'm trying to think like if the police knew because she's already possessed at this point. Like she was
Right.
possessed and she's been assumingly possessed and living in that house for the last 5 years. So I don't, or in the hotel. So I don't know if she just, I don't know. I'm not sure
So
if he,
but the big thing that happens, interview's happening. She seems normal enough. She's very numb. You could tell
yeah,
she's numb.
yeah,
She's been through some trauma, and she hands the found footage off, and some guy named Mitch or Mitchell takes
yeah,
it to the back room to go through it as they're going to continue conducting the interview. Which, as they're conducting the interview, they kind of go back and forth, which we as the viewer see it as Mitch watching the footage and the interview's still going on at the same time. That's how I pictured it.
yeah. And Mitchell is the lead in the second
Mitchell.
one. He's the lead in the
Oh,
next one.
interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because he's the only survivor. At the end, we'll get to what happens to
Right.
his crew, but he's the only one that survives. So now he's like, all right, I got to get to the bottom of this. So he's the lead in the next one.
So they cut to the footage and it's them coming, like driving to the house. They're all bubbly. Sarah is completely different than she is in the interview, where she's so bubbly and fun and young and silly. And in the interview, she's just stoic and not there. But yeah, they get to the house. There's shit everywhere. There's like workout equipment everywhere, like we talked about. And yeah, they start setting up, right?
Yeah, so they're
And
setting up and they're doing casting calls trying to get new actors to come, join their crew or whatever.
hmm
And I think the first kind of scary thing that happens is Paul, the camera guy. He's like sleeping at this point they're sleeping at the hotel and he sets up the camera at night and he's you see behind him somebody walks into his room and you can't see who it is and they've got like a wig on it looks like and he's like, "Sarah, like who the fuck is that?" sort of thing. And he can't tell who it is, but he's not that concerned. He thinks it's like their
I
friend.
love his attitude. He's like, that was weird, like or
Yeah,
something,
he's just
right?
like, dude, are you, who's that? And then he like leaves. They're like, okay, and like, yeah, so I guess my friend's screwing with me or whatever. But it's like that's a demon. And that guy has, I think, the scariest moments throughout the movie. Like he's in the room later when the girl is just on the wall, the like demon girl is just sitting on the wall, and he's like, Jesus Christ, and he like hides under the covers and looks
Yeah,
up, and she gets
that was
closer.
one of the scariest, but the scariest was when he's the filmer too, right? So he's
Yeah,
the camera guy,
yeah,
and he's walking around the house, and the clown, like similar to Art the Clown, honestly, the black and white clown with the
hmm
red blood around his face,
yeah,
is there, and he's looking, and then he turns with the camera, and he turns back, and the guy's looking right at him.
yeah.
And then he's like, he runs off and he's like, fuck, fuck, fuck. And he goes upstairs instantly. And he thinks it's Todd, right?
Tony.
Or Tony. He thinks it's Tony. He sees Tony right there. He's like, in no way, like timing wise, could that be Tony? So
Yeah,
he freaks out, goes, runs back to the basement and sees the clown back on the floor,
yeah.
sitting there. That to me was good, creative scare. That was
That
really
was
scary.
very good because it incorporates jump scare, but it also incorporates like a very realistic reaction to that, where you
Like,
still
you, my friends
think,
are fucking up
yeah,
with
yeah,
me.
yeah.
And then, yeah.
And then like yeah, that scene is probably the best scene in the whole movie. Just the sequence of it, the reaction of
hmm
it, and the other thing is by that point they've already established that the clowns' heads can't turn. So for him to look down the stairs and then immediately look back up and the clown's head is turned at him,
Yeah.
he's like not thinking that in that moment, but then it's like all flooding in like, wait, you can't fuck, it must be my friends, they must
But
be
then
fucking with me.
add on top of it, it's a mannequin. It's not a costume either. So
Yeah.
it's like when you go back down to the basement and you see that it's a mannequin with clothed and its head is, that is a terrifying concept.
Yeah, yeah, no, that scene's good. And the clowns, if you think the clowns are scary in this one, they just keep coming in the next one. So get used to the clowns. Yeah, that scene's terrifying. The girl in the scene in the bedroom scene's terrifying.
Yes,
So there's a couple of moments in the movie that are pretty scary. I feel like this movie, the first viewing is probably the most effective, and then
definitely was.
definitely after you watch the rest of the series and go back, it's equally as effective. But if you just watch this one over and over again, it kind of loses its allure a little bit. Um, but yeah, so at this point, then they know some weird shit's going on. They all kind of think everybody's still like screwing around with each other, but nobody's like really that concerned. Um, and then there is one scene where everything just kind of starts going wrong, like one after the other. Like Paul gets like sick and he doesn't want to do this anymore,
Mhm.
and Tony tries to quit. And this is one scene
And then, but
that,
before that, they bring in the actors. They found a
yeah,
clown. They found the guy to do the clown. They found a couple, and his eye does the eye trick,
yeah,
and a few other things. So they're starting to do this thing, but like you said, he gets scared, like actually scared, to the point where the Tony or the head is like don't run away. You're gonna scare the other actors off, and we don't
Yeah.
need that. Like tw 10 days to opening day.
Yeah, so at this point, yeah, Paul is sick and he's like, I'm scared, I'm sick, I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, and really quick, so back to the scene where Paul's running around when the clown, the scene we were just talking about, he throws
Hmm.
up in that scene.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
He
all right,
was.
that's real
I
throw
had a
up.
feeling. I had a feeling.
And I looked, or watched the interview with the director, and he's just like, so the night before, the crew was all
Was it
getting
drinking?
really
Yeah, yeah.
drunk. And he's like, and the next day, because if you watch the scene, he has to jump over the bar, and he did
Ugh.
that like 10 times in a row. And that was the take they used where he's just like, I'm so hungover, man. I'm so sorry. Because he really did throw up. And I was like, what, are you okay? And he's like, I'm fine. I think jumping over the
No,
bar
but it
made,
wasn't even throw. It was more of like a spit up, like acid coming out of
yeah,
him
it
almost.
was
So, but
hangover.
it felt very. I mean, it was real, but it
It
felt
was
very real.
real. Yeah. So at this point, Paul's sick, and Tony's gonna quit. He's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I fucking quit. Like this is real. This is scary. There's some scary shit going on here. And then this scene in the first movie kind of makes no fucking sense. And I don't think that the director ever thought there was going to be a sequel. So it's really annoying. But the scene where Tony just like leaves and they chase after him and they go to that field and they have a
I didn't like that
conversation.
was my least favorite part because it's like, why would you have a camera set up
Why
for
would you
this
have the camera? And then also,
intimate conversation?
and you never find out what it is. It's
Yeah.
like Alex said, he's like, all right, well, I didn't realize that, so I'll stay or whatever.
You get an idea like the finances got effed up
No,
somehow
they,
or something.
it makes more sense in the second and third one. They explain it, but you're like, they didn't know they were going to make a second and third one, so they shouldn't have done that in this one where they just like completely.
That's the yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only annoying part of this whole movie is like Tony tries to leave. They have this whole like intimate like
Heart to heart,
conversation,
yeah.
and then but the audience never finds out what they talked about, and then Tony agrees to come back, and you're like, what the fuck? So okay,
Maybe there was favors owed. I don't
they
know.
should have told us something at least, but they don't. So anyway, so then we get back to the it's like opening night at this point, and Paul is still sick. He's like in bed. Tony is working, and Mac, everybody's working, whatever. They tie up one of their actresses and she can't get out. They've got the clown in the basement, who's the
And
good
the clown
clown.
has the key to it,
Yeah, and he's a
right?
good guy. His name's like Nick or something. He's like a regular actor dressed up like a clown, and he's got the key to let her out. Which is also insane. Like they would never do that where they
No,
tie
it
somebody
should be
up.
you get the cuffs where you could just get
Yeah,
out yourself.
it's
Like
crazy that they locked her up and they wouldn't let her out. So then, yeah, opening night's happening. They do establish throughout the entire house there's like dead areas where the walkie-talkies like don't work and stuff
but
like
there
that.
are security cameras throughout every hallway and stuff
Yeah.
too. So that's why the found footage has a little bit more values because yeah, there was security cameras.
Right. And then at this point, we're seeing like the line is out the door. There's people like filming and it cuts to their cameras. And it's like, this is like footage from a YouTube video or whatever. And it's like everybody's getting excited to go in. And then basically the show starts, they go in, and then whatever's controlling this house is like, boom, showtime.
I think it's when it goes to the basement. Really, that's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Everything happen, whatever the portal is to hell or whatever is in the basement because that's where it all goes down all the time.
Yeah, and the actress is tied up. She can't get out. She's screaming. You see the male, like the good guy clown. He's like, "Fuck this," and he
Yeah,
just
he just bails
leaves
with the key,
leaves her
and
down there with the key. And then there's
she
like,
keeps screaming, hanging on, like
"This
this
isn't
isn't
part of
part of the
it.
show.
Help
This
me!"
isn't part of the show.
Yeah, and
But like
everyone's
that's like kind of what you want in a haunted house too. But if I heard that, I'd be like, like seriously, are you okay? Like at
yeah,
the age of 35, yes, I would say that. But at 21, I'd be like, like what is this haunted house?
yeah. So at this point, though, then you start seeing like cult members like popping up, like in like black cloaks and
Yeah.
stuff, and they kill that girl. And everybody starts basically like running and like trampling each
Scary. It's
other.
scary. It
And
reminds me of those club stories, back like the Rhode Island club that like when people were just going for the exit door and when things were on fire and stuff. That's the feeling I got from this. It's just people just having a panic, like I want to get out, right?
yeah, especially in a place like this where it's like an abandoned hotel that does not have a lot of clear exits, like barely have running power. Like this place is super dangerous for something like this to happen.
Yeah, and we
Uh,
see I don't know who it is, but he has a walkie-talkie. He is escorting people like, please get out, please get out, please get out, go, go, go,
yeah,
show's
that's
over.
Mac.
And
Yeah,
then he gets the last person out, and then the door closes.
yep, and he
And
can't get
then
out.
I'd kick that door open so fucking fast, dude. You
Can't
wouldn't even
though.
know.
It's like Skinamarink, man. Like the door isn't, it doesn't lead to the outside anymore.
I
Yeah.
could get us out.
Yeah.
I
Try
could
it.
kick that door down easily. One
But
kick
But at
right
this
through the
point,
doorknob.
everybody's stuck. They know any of the
Yeah.
lead actors can't get out. There's 15 or 10 other dead people in the house now. And then they all start getting killed one by one, except Alex is upstairs in the attic being hung, just like Andrew Tully was.
Yep.
So he's being hung up in the attic. Um, I think I can't remember how
Sarah
Mac.
goes up there too.
Yeah, but I can't remember how Mac and Tony die. I know Paul slices his throat with the piece of glass. I know
After, yeah, yeah, after he,
Sarah gets smashed with the camera, but I can't remember how Tony and Paul die. Or
I
Tony
don't,
and
do we see it all? Do we see it all?
there's two other guys. They definitely die, but I can't remember. So the lead actors, most of them, they're all die except for Sarah.
And then the
Um,
other one's the clown that got away.
he got
But
no, he died. No,
he took his life.
yeah, yes, exactly. So they do say earlier, I think his name is Nick. He was the actor, the scare actor dressed up as a clown. It was like he was the only one that escaped, and then yeah, he took his own life.
He
Like
probably had survivor's guilt for leaving that girl hanging.
or he was getting possessed or like haunted by the demons because he
Maybe both.
escaped.
Maybe
Yeah.
both, yeah.
And he also knows for a fact that like demons are real now or some ghosts or something are real
Yeah,
now.
that
So
would
that
freak me
probably
out too.
messes with you. Yeah, you're like, oh, okay, like shit. So yeah, so he never gets to be interviewed or talked to or whatever. And then it jumps back to the future to 2014 to the present. And basically the people that are making this documentary, they're doing the interviews with Sarah and all these other people. They're like, we're gonna go to the house because Sarah tells them that
No,
too.
no, no. Sarah says, I'm tired. And it sounds like they've been interviewing since till 5 in the morning, is
Yeah,
what she said. Like, I'm tired. Can I go take a break? And then the interviewer's like, absolutely, go take a break. And she's like, oh, you should go check out the house, is what
yeah,
off camera. You don't see them, but you hear the subtitles and the voice. She goes, you should check out the house. And if you need me, I'll be in 2B or 2C
yeah,
or whatever, her room number.
yep,
Then it cuts to her leaving, her telling Mitchell to keep looking through the footage, which is very key to this story. So Mitchell is still not done going through the footage. He's like at the point now that we are in the movie where you saw all the Hell House. So Sarah leaves. The interviewer, the reporter, is talking to her cameraman, like, we're gonna go to the house, we're gonna break in. It's like, we don't have a warrant, we can't just break in. She's like, F it, let's just knock over some boards and let's get in there. Like, we're doing this piece.
hmm
They go in. Well, before they do that, they go to the hotel desk, remember?
yeah. And they check in. They're like, "Does
They
this
check, hey,
Sarah?" They're like,
Sarah,
"No."
blah, 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 2C. She's like, none of our numbers have letters in them
Yeah,
or anything in the hotel. But oh, and then I think the cameraman brushes us off as maybe she signed in as a different name. Who cares? Let's just go to the
yeah,
house.
yeah,
So they go to the house, they break in, they're doing the reporting. There's blood all over the floor still, which is gross. Like,
yeah,
that's a crime scene.
yeah,
That should be cleaned up, honestly. Get a Swiffer. Get a Swiffer, really. And then they kind of wander around, but they were about to go in the basement, remember?
yeah.
I love that
And they
scene because
didn't, but they were about to.
we've seen us as
Yeah,
viewers have seen the
yeah.
basement. We have seen what goes down in the basement, but there's pictures and there's also that moment where you get goosebumps just watching it, just thinking like that something is with that basement, right?
Yeah.
So they go upstairs, they're heading towards the attic, and then they see 2B or
It's
2C on
3C.
or
It's
3C.
3C, but like there's like a shine of light that's landing
Yeah.
right on the number. So
Yep,
it's like
yep.
really inviting. And there's a lock, there's a latch from the outside to that door. And the reporter's going to open it, and the camera guy's like, "Dude, what are you doing?" And she's like, "Well, I mean, like we should go in there." She's like, "No, we really shouldn't. Like that. Why are we? Or, that's not why we're here." And she's like, "That's why I'm here." And she opens it and opens the door, and you see Sarah sitting on the bed looking outside away. And she's like, "Sarah, like, are you okay, Sarah?" And then all of a sudden,
Meanwhile, before we get to the reveal, Mitchell is watching the footage of her getting her face bashed in by
Paul, the
Paul,
cameraman.
the cameraman,
Yeah,
and then the cameraman unaliving himself
yeah,
with a piece of glass or something.
yeah,
And then you think, she's dead. The
yeah,
person you've been interviewing is dead.
yeah,
So Mitchell's also trying to call the reporter. She's not picking up. She's like, stupid Mitchell hangs up. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So that happens, then yeah, Sarah's at the edge of the bed, sitting the other way, and then she turns back, right? And her face is bloody for some reason. I don't know
Yeah,
why
she
it was
got
bloody.
smashed in with the camera.
Yeah, but 5 years ago.
Yeah, but she's a ghost. That's how she died. So she stayed as
You're right.
that.
You're right.
So
Okay.
she stayed
Okay.
as what she died.
I was curious what that was.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. But yeah, so then she goes, she kills the cameraman
Well,
and
then
the
there's like
journalist.
two other cloaked figures next to her.
Yeah.
Next, they turn around, they turn back, and there's two cloaked figures, and then
Yep.
camera spasm happens, and then that's kind of the movie.
Yep. And the next one opens up with Mitchell, and he's like, I got to figure out what happened to them. And that starts a whole nother investigation. And the cool thing is, like, because this is known to other people in the world, so there's like YouTube channels and like, ghost adventure shows, and they're
Mm,
all like, it expands the world because of this documentary.
mm,
But yeah, it's really it. I don't know. I was very impressed with it. I'm glad they keep making them. It's been the same dude who's written and directed the first five movies, and they're making another one, but I think he's stepping away for this one. So we'll see. But
mm.
these are like
Okay.
Shutter movies, and the good thing is
Can I? Yes, you keep
these are
going.
available everywhere. They're free on like
Yes, yes.
every fucking platform. So if you're interested in checking this
How did
out,
you watch it? I watched it on Prime.
I think on Prime too. But this is on
Yeah,
YouTube. It's on everything.
yeah, and I will say, like, yes, would I have loved to see this in theaters? I think my experience in theaters would be way better because there's ads every 15, 20 minutes
It wasn't
in
in
Prime.
theaters. This
And
movie's never in
I
theaters.
know, but like this, who knows? This could have been the next Paranormal Activity if it decided to, someone got behind it because I think this was fantastic. This is right up there with Paranormal Activity in my mind. In my mind,
It's a
found
it's
footage, yeah,
a it's a Shutter original, I believe. So
yeah.
like Shutter has the rights to these, and they were releasing them yearly. So
Yeah,
uh,
and yeah, I want to pull up the stats. So this came out October 16th, 2015. God, it feels like yesterday. It's an hour and 33 minutes. I heard the budget. I had to Google it. $25,000.
wow,
Yeah, think of that.
wow, that is so
Obviously,
cheap.
right, right. Obviously, it's probably a little more with what people put into it, but you could tell it's a passion project and the creativity behind it's great.
That is so cheap.
Right. And obviously, there's no box office because it wasn't theatrically released, but it went to video on demand. So streaming services like Shudder and stuff paid for the rights and went on from there. Critic score was 75, audience was 72. I'd give it an 80.
Yeah.
I'd give it an 80.
It's not a flawless masterpiece, but for what it is and like what it
Mhm.
spawned, I mean, I don't know. But we should definitely keep doing them. I'll see. I mean, I'm curious to see what you think as it grows.
One
And
other criticism, and I know we have potty mouths too, but the swearing, especially towards like the middle end, my God, I think this beat bigger, longer, and uncut for swearing. The F bombs, man, constant, constant.
it didn't stand out to me. I don't know. I mean, because the director said in the interview that he wrote the script and they would do like make sure you guys get at least one or two takes that is full hardcore what I wrote. And he's like, and then I'll let you guys have a little fun with
I
improv.
like
He's
that.
like,
That's a good way to direct. I like
yeah.
that.
But he's like, we need to make sure that I get the lines that I wrote at least a couple times because
So
like
the script makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, but then otherwise I'll let you guys do some fun stuff. But yeah, it seems like they all had a really great time filming. They did it very quickly. I guess the one thing I would say just story wise, they definitely would tear down that hotel after this. Like because this takes place 5 years after that Hell House incident, but then the Hell House incident was 20 years after the cult fucking killed a bunch of people. So it's like just tear that building down at this point. Like you
Yeah,
had
and
two big incidents.
I get the my biggest thing is, and this is how I try to like make up for it, is the blood on the ground of when everyone walks in, there's still blood on the ground.
No,
That would be cleaned up.
yeah.
One,
Yeah.
by any FBI, but two, it makes you think like maybe the FBI knows that this house is a portal to hell, and that's why don't, they're just brushing it under the rug as much as possible. You
Well,
don't
the
know.
second and third one really get into what's going on at this house. And then the fourth and fifth one is more about like yeah, I don't even want to ruin it. We'll talk about it later. But
Yeah, no, this is
yeah,
great. Another series we're doing. I
this is
love
a
it.
good one. Yeah, I'm excited. And these are all short. These are all like hour and a half, blow
Oh,
through them like they're quick and they're all free like everywhere. So
oh.
Anyways, you got any last minute thoughts on Hell House LLC here?
No, I just love the creativity. I really love it. I love seeing this kind of stuff. I really do.
Well, you better get used to that piano. They're like, you remember the piano he's playing?
Yeah.
That's the theme throughout the whole series. So get ready.
Okay. I guess buckling up.
All right. All right. Well, let's spin that wheel.
We shall. Spinning. See what we got. I'm gonna pick the closest one. We have The Mummy Returns.
Nice. And we got Zach Simpson joining us for that one. It's been a long time since we've covered those. So let's go.
I haven't
All
seen
right.
that in 20 years at least.
And with
Yeah.
The Mummy 4 officially getting greenlit, let's go. So,
Love it. Yeah.
all right. Well, everybody, thank you very much for listening into our discussion on Hell House LLC. And we will see you next week with The Mummy Returns.
Woo!